If you happen to have kids, or even know someone who has kids, I highly recommend the new musical children's picture books by Emma Pornell Music. Emma is an author and musician of over 20 years dedicated to emotional understanding for kids and adults. Not only that, she has a science background also of over 20 years. Emma has spent countless hours researching the beneficial psychological and physiological effects of listening to instrumental music on the decreasing the anxiety level of children to increase their creative performance. Listen to her companion piano music releases alongside the reading of both of her children's picture books available. Gentle Dragons, Healing and Dealing with Emotions and Feelings, and also Tween the Cat, A Story of Gratitude and Compassionate Attitude. Both are themed around assisting children develop healthy emotional habits and positive attitudes towards life and others. Emma also includes full-color, captivating illustrations, also done completely by her on every page. Find both these books available on Amazon Print and ebook through Emma Pornell's author page or via her personal website. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Spreaker. If you want a podcast, you want to distribute your podcast to multiple podcast platforms, including Apple and Spotify, all you need to do is click on the link in the description to get Spreaker and get your free trial. Also, there's an opportunity to be monetized on the podcast. So I got Jim Rajan from Insight Timer on the podcast. How are you, Jim?
I'm really good. Thank you very much, Stephen. How are you?
Good to have you on the show today. And what have you been working on with yourself lately?
Good question. I mean, I'm always doing things all the time. I never stop. I've just finished making a course for Insight Timer called, which is about using Hindu concepts, using traditional Hindu concepts in a way to enhance your daily practice. And that's going to be coming out on Insight Timer quite soon. I've been making music. We've just put music up on Spotify. And every day or every other day, I do videos and put content on my Instagram channel. Mm-hmm. So, and loads of other things. I do things for other people. I produce guided meditations for other people and music for other people. I mean, I never stop really.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm very creative, like yourself. I'm a composer as well. So I've been podcasting and writing some music just for some short film trailers on YouTube as well. I've got work on Spotify as well. But how do you feel about putting your work on Spotify and the royalties, Jim?
That's funny. No one has ever asked me that. How do I feel about that?
Because I'm a musician. A lot of musicians aren't very happy about it too.
I would say that I kind of gave away the idea that I would make money from music a long time ago. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been a musician for since my 20s. I'm a percussionist. I play banzuri flute. I compose like you. And I tried for quite a few years to make a living as a musician, and it never worked with me. I always tried to play concerts and do concerts with other people, and I could never really work with other people. I'm not that kind of musician. And then when I the first time I got the courage to put my music on Spotify, I did it and had this illusion that all of a sudden loads of people would hear it and follow me and think it was amazing, and I would become, maybe not famous, but, well known or something, that I would get something from it. But I didn't get anything from it. And I realized very quickly that it's not actually about the music as much as what I can bring to the world. The music for me is it's a vehicle to help me to get to meet other people, and so that then they engage with other things that I do. I'm also a distance healer, for example, and I coach people, and so it would be nice if Spotify gave musicians more money for a listen. You know, you get something like 0.001 of a dollar, US dollar for a listen. But then if you think about it, I mean, my brother, for example, works for a record label in London, and the amount of money that they invest in an artist so that artist actually makes money, for a normal everyday musician to upload something onto Spotify, if you think that you're just going to magically make a living out of that, if you don't invest a lot of money in publicizing yourself or advertising, then you're not living in reality, really. You get what you pay for. You get out of something what you put into something. And for example, a lot of musicians that I know that spend a lot of money on things like ads or Facebook ads or Instagram ads or whatever you want to call it, they are the ones who get their thousands and thousands of or hundreds of thousands of plays on Spotify, but it costs them money.
Yeah.
They make money, but it costs no.
I've found.
What do you think about that?
I've actually had experience with marketing companies. I've found that it's making me fork money out of my pocket just to get my work out there, which sucks.
Yeah.
Not only that, with distributors too, they charge money just to load it like CD Baby. You pay the flat fee, and then it's out there forever. So they've been, I don't know, ripping musicians off. That's what I think.
Yeah, but if you look at any business, if you look at any system of making money, you don't get anything for free. If you look at well-known musicians or artists, it's a little bit of the 1960s dream that you have a band. And then, for example, take Led Zeppelin. They didn't come out of nowhere. Jimmy Page was a session musician for years and years for other people, playing for peanuts. So was the bass player Paul Jones. Things don't just come out of nowhere. You've got to really work at them. For me, Spotify is a tool. It's a platform that I use. Insight Timer for me is a platform, and I put my content on there. And what it does is it gets people to understand who I am and what I believe in and what I stand for and what I do. And if they then like that, then many of them contact me and ask me if they can work with me personally in some way, as a healer, as a coach, or what have you. I do understand. I mean, I've tried more than once with coaches who help you as a musician to get your music out there and get you to earn money as a musician. And one of them actually used to charge me £175, UK pounds, which I'm not sure what is in Australian dollars, but for 45 minutes Skype. A 45-minute Skype conversation, and he wanted to do that every week with me. I was like, I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
So I tried it for a while, and then just gave up and realised that it's not about paying someone money to get you somewhere. It's about you being your truth. It's about you actually living the dream yourself. You make the dream. The dream comes from you. You've got to make it yourself, though. No one's going to do anything for you in life. That's something no one wants to hear. Nobody wants to hear that. Everyone wants to hear that you do this, you give this person some money, and this person does something for you. No, everything comes from you. And when you essentially get over yourself and get over your I'm not talking about you personally, but people in general. When people get over themselves, when we get over our complaining that life didn't give us what we want or that we deserve better than we've actually got, you realise that everything is down to you. Everything is down to you, and it's up to you to really go, right, I'm at this place in life. I've not got the success, let's use that word, for example, that I would like. the only way I'm going to get that is by doing what? By changing myself. I need to grow. I need to break some of my own limits, go outside of my comfort zone. For example, I did that. I was trying to get my music known and guided meditations and a lot of my content on Insight Timer.
Mm-hmm.
And someone said, "Why don't you do video? Just do video. Open an Instagram and do video." And I was horrified. I was like, "But what am I going to say?" I was freaking out because. But I can't talk in front of people. I have nothing to say. They won't like what I say. I'll look like an idiot. Blah 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 blah. But I did it. I crossed my own limit. I was like, right, okay, well, I would like to have this kind of life. Therefore, I'm only going to get it if the me is equal to the kind of life I want. So I have to change. And I pushed myself, and I got out there. My first video was a disaster. I was embarrassing. It was appalling. But I did it. And then I did another one. And then I did them every day. And now, a few years later, I love doing it. And I don't even need I don't even need to think of a thing I'm going to talk about. I just sit down, turn the camera on, and go. Hopefully, people like it. But it's me. It's the truthful me. I think when you start doing something that's outside of your comfort zone, you need guidance. You need to kind of copy someone else or do something how other people do it. But eventually, you find your own way. And that is the way. That is the way.
How have you felt about marketing yourself as well as a content creator? Has it been challenging? Because it is for me, Jim, too. I struggle with that.
Marketing myself is certainly not prostituting myself. You have to market yourself. For example, Insight Timer, there are now something like 5,000 teachers. When I first was on Insight Timer, there was just something like 1,000. There are now hundreds of thousands of pieces of content. Look at YouTube. As they say, I don't know if it's every minute or every hour, 1 million videos get uploaded to YouTube. So there is a massive saturation of content of people like you who want people to hear them. Right. So even if you were like the most incredible, if you had the most amazing thing to say, if there's no one there to hear it, what a waste. What a waste. So you have to use some of these channels to help people to find you. And I, for example, every now and again, I'll do like a Facebook ad or Instagram ad, because I'm not really a big fan of Facebook, the platform itself, but Instagram is a great platform. And I'll do a little video just talking about myself and trying to convey that what I'm doing is not about getting something from my audience or getting your money, no, it's about providing you with something that will be useful in your life. Because if I provide something and it's not useful, then I'm useless. Then what is the point of me? There is no point of me. So it's important that if I can provide someone with value, that will help them in their life, progress in some way, feel less pain or feel more success, wonderful. And if I can use a channel like advertising on Instagram, I see that as a great resource. In fact, it's helped me gain quite a lot of followers who I've then worked one-on-one with. I'm really lucky. I have clients all over the world, literally all over the world every day. I'm so fortunate. But many of those have come from them seeing an Instagram ad and not even liking the words, just liking my way, liking my energy, how I carry myself, how I wear my life. I think you have all kinds of channels available to you. You must use them. Be selective. Whatever you give out to the world, make sure it's the best it can be and the most truthful and honest it can be. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's interesting about social media as well, Jim. What about using all the hashtags and all that and all the keywords? How do you...
Yeah, social media is what exactly? Social media is it's a way for people to connect.
Mm.
It's a way for people to be social. But what a lot of people use it for is to kind of show how wonderful they are, or bombard other people with stuff so that they can get money from them. So yeah, things like hashtags. It's important to learn how to use things like this. Does it really create value for me? I mean, I have about 5,000 followers on Instagram, for example. Do I use hashtags? I do. Do I really understand how to use them? Not really. I mean, I use a kind of tool called Flick that helps me decide which ones might help or not. For example, yeah, I think anything you're going to do it well. Research it. The only reason you wouldn't research hashtags or know how to use them is because you can't be bothered. No, because you don't want to go that extra mile, because you are again assuming that life deserves to give you what you deserve, and that doesn't work like that. You don't get anything unless you put something in. So yeah, I do know people who use things like hashtags and you know, they're on every day and they put stories and you know, they do all of the stuff and they do really well. And I know other people who do that and they don't get anything in return. So each person is different, and it's what you feel in your heart, in a way, that is not prostituting yourself, that is maintaining integrity and the dignity of your own life while doing your best to have people know who you are.
Exactly. You know, because there's a lot of fakes on Instagram too, Jim, out there.
Yeah, there are. I mean, I remember following a young woman in America who all of a sudden people who had copied her thing were trying to follow me and follow them and follow me, and there are people who copy other people because why? Why would you copy someone else? Because you don't believe in yourself? Because you don't feel you're good enough, or what you have to say is good enough? But how? I mean, that comes down to our conditioning and the competition that we've been forced to live by. You know, we've been told that you have to compare yourself to other people, you have to compete. We've been basically told that from pretty much day one of schooling that you are empty and therefore require filling with information. So you go to school and school fills you with information. But that means what? That means that you're empty and therefore nothing until somebody gives you something. And we've taken that into life in a lot of different ways. No? A lot of business is based on that little piece of psychology. So I would say that really it's about understanding within yourself that you have come to this life with some amazing gifts. And what you have come with, nobody else has come with. And what other people have come with, you didn't come with. So what anyone else has is wonderful. That's wonderful for that person. It's amazing if that person is earning millions of dollars and has a Ferrari and lives the life of their dreams. I love that. I love seeing that in people. I love being around prosperous people. And most people don't. Most people see prosperous people and decide that they hate them because they've got something that I don't have. But really, it's not about other people. It's about you. It's about what you are doing, what you can bring to this life. Every single person brings something different. It's about finding your tribe or your community or the people who will appreciate or value what you do. And I know that's quite a cliche way of saying things. But it's the truth. It is. Every single one of us has very special gifts, and it's about bringing them out, realizing that you have them, and then actually doing something with them, because that is a struggle. Many people, they have this feeling that they're different, and I mean, I find myself working with a lot of healers, with a lot of empath or sensitive people. And they know that they're different, or there's something different about them, but they don't know how to translate it into reality. But that's what life is. Life is translating what's inside into the outside. Life is really about revealing you know, how do I put it? You know, there's a universe inside of you, and yet you're taught that there is nothing inside of you. So we will forever have this battle between those two things. And if you just start to decide more and more each day that you want to go with the universe idea than the nothing idea, then you feel different. And when you feel different, you take decisions in a different way, you act in a different way. Everything comes from the heart. The heart, it is the heart that is the most important in everything. And yet we think it's the intellect. Oh, we know this person is more clever than me. Intellectualism, being clever. Yeah, it's great. But how many clever people take drugs, are alcoholics, don't look after themselves in any way? Loads and loads of them. How many doctors do you see standing outside a hospital smoking cigarettes? No? So intellect is great, but it's not very applicable to life. Heart is different.
Exactly, Jim. No, it's to me, like, having a Ferrari would be pretty cool to drive.
Yeah.
But very expensive.
Absolutely.
To maintain those things too.
But what do you want from that Ferrari? What you want is the feeling. You want the feeling of having a Ferrari. That I got myself to a place in life where that is sitting outside my front door. I got myself to a place in my life where I can sit in that, and I don't even have to turn the engine on, and it just makes the hairs on my arms stand on end. That you want the feeling of the Ferrari. You don't want the Ferrari, but you can get the feeling of a Ferrari in so many different ways, and generally, you get that feeling in a more long-lasting way from helping another person live in a way that is more attuned to their truth, to their kind of understanding of life. The Ferrari is an interesting one, and I use that a lot. There's a particular kind of ceremony I ask some of my clients to do, and it's like we have, because when you say Ferrari, what you've got is a red car that looks really beautiful in a picture in your head, right? But what it is, it's a vehicle. I mean, obviously it's a vehicle, but philosophically, it is a vehicle. It is a means for you to get from where you are to where you want to be. It's not about the Ferrari. It's about you evolving so that you get to that place. Sorry, excuse me. So you get to that place where you are equal to the Ferrari. No? If you had one sitting outside your house, right? The first day you'd be like, wow, amazing, dude, I've got a Ferrari, fantastic. Check me out. All your friends would come round, but after a week or so, you'd have that, but you'd have it a bit less. After 6 months, you would have that, but you'd have it a little bit less. After a year, you'd be like, yeah, I mean, it's just, you would just go to the shops in it. You need to go and buy some bread. You need milk, and the shop is 2 k's away, and you can't be bothered to walk. I just go in the Ferrari, and before you know it, it's just a car. But the thing is it's where you want to go, not where that image can take you. Success is not a rival. We have this idea that success means I've arrived, I've got the stuff, I've got the money and the house and all of the things, but all of those things are transient, and if you lost them straight away, you would be back to where you are now. But success is a mindset. A growth mindset is you working on yourself every single day. Successful people, billionaires even, most of the billionaires are kind of dyslexic or ADHD in some way, or have kind of difficulties with learning. But what successful people do is they go, right, well, I am this, I would like that thing, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to do the journey to get there. Didn't John Lennon say something like, life is what happens when you're making other plans? And so, yeah, success is what happens when you actually live your life with a growth mindset. When you every day you do something to improve yourself, release your burdens, release your karma. Rewriting your own life doesn't happen in one day. Rewriting your life happens every single day. You'll get to the Ferrari and you'll be just like, oh, cool. I didn't realize it, but actually I've got 4 Ferraris sitting outside my house. But it's not about the arrival. It's about success is a departure. It's saying, I'm going for this thing. And then you get that thing and you're like, right, cool. What am I going to go for now? Something else. All right, cool. But do remember that all of those things, they're just a carrot for the donkey. And the donkey doesn't even really need a carrot. The donkey just needs to believe in him or his or herself and bring something good to the world while being good to themselves.
Well, don't forget, Ferraris still need to be maintained, Jim, and they need to be serviced and fixed. And if you break a tyre, you've got to go to a Ferrari dealer, not an ordinary mechanic as well. That sucks.
Yeah, and it costs you, to service a Ferrari, how much does that cost you a year?
Oh,
20 grand, maybe?
Probably. Imagine the insurance on that, too.
Imagine the insurance. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but imagine you being insured on a Ferrari. That's going to cost a lot of money. So that becomes a burden. And then you're like, my God, why the hell did I buy this Ferrari? I'm an idiot. A little Mini Cooper would have been fine. I only needed to go to the shops to buy milk. So we can forever project outside of ourselves, okay, at the things we want or the stuff we feel we deserve or the stuff that other people have that we want. Or we can sit inside and we can go, right, how am I feeling? How am I today? Am I okay? Am I actually all right? No, I'm not okay. Right, okay, what do I need to do then? I need to just stay in today and take care of myself. I need to go and do some sport. I need to do, when you take care of your own needs, life takes care of your needs. But when you're empty, you're just searching for the carrot all the time. You're just looking for a carrot to fill you, to make you feel good all the time. But the only thing that will make you feel good is when you give to the world, not when the world gives to you. And that is a hard one for many people to get because our conditioning is so strong. It's clamped onto us so strongly. But really, when you generally what happens in life, Stephen, is that life comes along and it deals you really painful lessons until you get it, until you realise that actually everything comes from you and that life is down to you. But most people, what they do is they get those horrible lessons and they say life is horrible. Life's a bitch. Life is awful. No, life is just life. There is good and bad is just contextual. There's no such thing as good and bad. Compared to what? Compared to what? Therefore, it's everything's down to you. If your life is not going the way you want it to, if life is not giving you what you want, it's because you are not giving life what life wants.
Exactly. Wow. That's pretty good. It's interesting what you pointed out as well about success. When I was looking in personal development, there's these coaches out there, but they just want this money, and I think it's a rip-off. And
it's cool. I had someone send me a message on Instagram the other day. A guy who has 100 or so thousand followers on Instagram, and he coaches coaches. He's a coacher, right? He's found me and he's told me, your content's fantastic. I really like it. I like how you help people and all this stuff. Would you like to check out a webinar that I've done? I was like, all right, yeah, why not? I'm always open to everything. If something brings me value, then who am I to judge it before I've seen it? So I watch his webinar. And he's done it with a friend of his, and they're going on about how they're in the Forbes list of top 100 whatevers, and he's giving it all of the I'm this and I'm that, and look how amazing it. Look, he's giving prestige. He's showing us his prestige. Okay, wonderful. And then And then his friend says, and this was beautiful, because you have to watch. You have to step back and look at what's going on. You have to be like a hawk and actually have perspective and look at what is going on around you and see the true nature of things. So his friend goes, and it wasn't even the words. It was his friend's body language. His friend goes, and coaching and the work we do with people, it's not about the money. And he goes, it's not about the money. And he did that with his nose, and he was like twitching, and he was really uncomfortable. You could see his lack of comfort when he said it's not about the money, because it was about the money.
Mm-hmm.
It was absolutely about the money. Now, I have trained myself to look past the words and look past what is put in front of my face and see what's going on underneath. Not because I'm suspicious, just because I'm aware. I have conscious awareness that most people, no one is bad, but there are a lot of people whose conditioning works in contrary to their true nature. No? And so I watched that and I thought, okay, so you have just lied. You've just said everything is about money because your body speaks much louder than your words do. All right, so I mentioned that to the guy. I said, look, I've seen your video. It's interesting. But did you actually watch when your friend said that about money? And he got really annoyed. He got really, really annoyed. I said, all right, well, forget it then. So, okay, yeah. Well, there you go. True colours. Simple. There are people like that all over the place. People make money out of what? Other people. That's the only way to make money. You don't make money out of the sky. Trees don't give you money. Well, they do if you kill them, but it's the same thing. Kill or be killed, And there are a lot of cultures in the world that are very heavily based on money, and money is the most important thing. And there are people who charge thousands and thousands for a coaching session, for example, or like I said, this guy who used to want to charge me £175 for a 45-minute Skype call. Okay, if you really bring me that level of value, I will give you your £5,000 for an hour of coaching or whatever. I would, but I'm expecting something really, really good from you. Again, you give to life what life gives to you. So there are people out there who want to make money out of everyone. And it happens to you all day, every day, all the time. You bought that microphone, it cost you money. No? Well, you bought those glasses, that cost you money. You bought the furniture in your house, it cost you money. You buy food, it costs you money. Money is being made from you even when you don't realise. So you can complain about that, or you can go, all right, well, that is a norm. That is a human being rule. Fine, I get it. No problem. But there's no point in being bitter about it. But what there is a point is having conscious awareness to limit the amount of damage that you do to yourself and that other people do to you and that you do to other people. Simple as that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people ripping people off in the business world and throwing these crazy numbers at people and not giving value as well. A lot of people false promising too, as well. Yeah,
absolutely. But that's human nature. Human beings are killing animals. Before when there was human beings and saber-toothed tigers and just animals, we used to kill them to get what we wanted. And now we don't actually. I don't go and kill an animal now so that I can eat it. I have to go and metaphysically kill something so that I can get what I want. But that's the old paradigm. So many human beings are stuck in the old paradigm, and there are 7 billion human beings. You can't just go and change all of them in one day. But slowly you can help generations and people who are coming through like yourself to see that if you bring value, you don't need money, you don't need a Ferrari, you don't need stuff. Stuff is useless. I mean, I'm sitting in a house surrounded by stuff. I don't actually use hardly any of it. But what brings happiness, what really truly brings absolute happiness, is when you provide value to another person. When you actually sit and listen to another person. Now, most people, for example, have no idea how to actually listen to someone. Most people, when someone is talking, are sitting there inside their head, working out what they're going to say next before that person has even finished. So generally, people don't care what you're talking about. They just care about themselves.
Mm.
There are two ways to live this life. There is the way that is based on fear. If you live your life based on fear, everything is singular. You're the most important. The self is the most important. You getting stuff is the most important. You having all the stuff and forgetting about everyone else. That's the way to live. If life is based on fear, or you can live life based on love. If you live life based on love, then you are not the most important one. The community is important. Balance of community, taking care of others, making sure everyone has the same.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a kind of communist way, but you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Looking after the whole, not looking after the me. So while there are people trying to rip other people off in business, that is the nature of business anyway. That is what business is. It's for you to see yourself if somebody is trying to rip you off, forgive them because it's not their fault, it's just their conditioning working against them, and say, right, well, I'm just going to take care of myself. Thank you very much, I appreciate that, but that's not for me. It's okay, they're not a bad person, but you've got to have deep emotional intelligence in the modern world. You really, really need that far more than what you learned at school. The majority, I mean, I'm 47 or 46 or 47 now, so I was last at school about 30 years ago. If you ask me what helped me in that geography class, I don't really remember. Nothing that I can't check out on the internet in 2 minutes now. No, but if you had sat me down in that school and taught me how to have emotional intelligence and how to see clearly with perspective and how to take care of myself as an individual and understand the importance of taking care of those around me, I would be a much more well-rounded individual now. No? So, yeah, of course, there will always be people who want to take advantage of you. Always. And many of them don't even know that they're doing it. Most of them think that it's normal and that there's nothing wrong with it. So you can't really complain about anything. In fact, as soon as you complain about anything in your life, you are stopping the cycle of prosperity. You know, I don't know, do you know the cycle of prosperity?
Sounds familiar.
So basically it says that the cycle of prosperity is this. It is a cycle that runs through your body all of the time. And it's just running and running. And as you give freely, for the joy of giving from your heart, you receive what you need. So you give someone a smile in the supermarket, you help someone out, you're just a generous, helpful, friendly, giving person. As soon as as you give, you will get what you need. And you may not get what you need from the direction that you gave, but you will get what you need. That is how life works. But when you stop giving, when you start complaining about everyone else and you criticize people or life or are negative, then the cycle just stops. And life becomes cold, and you don't get anything because you don't give anything. In fact, you're anti-giving. You're going into minus of giving because you're complaining and whinging and criticizing. And then the only way to make the cycle start again is by giving freely from your heart. But that doesn't mean giving to exhaust yourself and empty yourself and giving philanthropy. Through philanthropy, philanthropically, I don't know the word. Anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not about exhausting yourself. It's not about emptying yourself to give to others, because that's nothing. That's ridiculous. That falls on deaf ears. No, because people feel the energy behind everything. People really feel the energy behind everything. Okay? So I would say that live by that. Just live by the fact that when you're feeling okay and you're feeling strong within yourself and happy and joyful, give freely. And if you're not, then hold back and take care of yourself. But not take care of yourself in a narcissistic way. Take care of yourself genuinely. Just look after yourself and find opportunities to give. pick up some trash in the park when no one cares or no one's watching. It just helps someone out with something. Someone drops something in the supermarket on the floor and they leave it there. When you pick it up and you put it back. When you maintain balance in the universe maintains balance in you.
What's been your experience as a meditation teacher, and how did you start your journey?
I'm more of a visualization teacher than a meditation teacher. I'm a Buddhist. I've been a Buddhist for 14 years, but I tried all kinds of different meditation, all sorts of things, mindfulness, shamanism, Taoism, when I was younger, because I never got taught what I wanted to learn, and so I had to learn it myself. My experience of being a visualization teacher, is wonderful. Even if there's one person that comes to one of my classes, that's perfect, because it means that one person needed extra special attention today. If 20 people come or 100 people come or however many, it doesn't matter. For me, it's just about helping people remember themselves, their true nature. Really helping people see that you are complete, you are whole, nothing got taken away, there is nothing missing. When somebody died, they didn't take a part of you with them. When you broke up with someone, they didn't break your heart forever. You just felt a certain way, added a story to that, and then you then lived your life by it for the next 50 years. And people live in such deep bitterness for no reason, for stories that never even really existed. To me, I find that I love getting the opportunity to sit with a person, or two people, or 5 or 10 or 50 or 100, and help them see the true nature of themselves. I mean, my work as a distance healer is that. I do something called a healing ceremony, whereby I connect to a person's base frequency, help them realign, and then relay what came out. And so I just sit there and listen to a person, and it doesn't matter where they are in the world. And I feel really fortunate to be able to do that. And I've brought the most amazing value to people by listening to them and then telling them how they actually are. And they're amazed. They're like, well, how did you know that about me? And I said, well, I'm just listening to you. Meditation is what? It's you listening to yourself. It's not you battling with the mind. The mind is not bad. If you didn't have a mind, there would be a serious problem. You need a mind. The mind is very useful, but not for everything. But when you just listen to yourself, when you spend time with yourself, I mean, I don't like giving advice at all, but the only advice I think I'm happy to give to people is sit with yourself every day with a pen and a piece of paper and time it. 10 minutes, for example. Right, I'm going to sit for just 10 minutes on my own. No phone, no nothing. Not going to answer the door. Or I do it at a time when no one's going to come to the door. And maybe you find yourself writing things down. Maybe you don't. It doesn't matter either way. But you just sit and you register yourself. You become aware of yourself and how you are, where you are, why you are, what you actually are, without analysing it or evaluating it and deciding that you're rubbish or stupid or useless. Because no one is. Everyone is completely of value. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been given a life. So, I think it's to get the opportunity. I mean, I do a live on Insight Timer every week, and to get the opportunity to bring people to a place where they are really just there, where you're here and now. Instead of your mind running about the shopping and the things you have to do and all of the stuff and the problems you have and the person you hate and this person who's trying to take advantage of you and this person who's horrible to you, just sit there and be in yourself. It brings the most amazing gifts, far more than a lot of medical professionals, for example, could ever do, really.
Yeah, Insight Time is amazing. I love the live streaming going on too. I love Insight Timer.
Yeah, it's a great platform. I really enjoy doing the lives that I do, and it's a community. You don't get that very often. You know, you're on Instagram or you're on Facebook or whatever, but it tries to. When anything tries to give you community, it doesn't give you community. It gives you loneliness and isolation. But Insight Timer, I mean, the community that I have in my lives, I have people that have come to every single one without fail. And they really enjoy it. And it's not because of me. It's just because I provide a space for other people to see themselves in. I'm not really doing anything. And so what if you could do that? What if you, Stephen, could provide a place for people, a space for people to just find themselves in? That would be the most wonderful thing. You would find a happiness within yourself that would be extreme. It would be massive. But yeah, Insight Timer I feel really fortunate because they found me. They found my music on something else, a SoundCloud or something, and they asked me to put music on there on the platform. And then before I knew it, I was being asked to do other things. But the connection on Insight Timer is lovely. The people in the kind of help emails, the people who help me with my kind of area of the platform, that there's wonderful respect and taking care of. There's kind of honesty and genuineness, and I really value that. You don't find that very often, and it's a free thing. It's a free service. There are other meditation apps, but it's you get stuff for stuff. You have to pay this. You have to pay that. It's a business. Yeah, of course, Insight Timer is a business. They have to make money. There are people who work in there. They need money. But it's the way they go about it is with much more integrity.
Yeah, because I'm a yearly subscriber to Insight Timer. I love the app. Really do. I'd rather support them.
Yeah, me too.
But, the problem with Facebook and Instagram is just it's causing depression.
It's causing depression because why? Why is it causing depression?
Comparing yourself to other people living a glamorous life too. You get these models who using all these Botox and the Kardashians and all that. I'm fed up with it, Jim.
But that person, and this happened. There's millions and millions of people on Instagram who and their video is perfect or their photo is perfect and they have the perfect body and everything is wonderful. They have the expensive clothes and they have the Ferrari behind them, whatever the thing is. Yeah, absolutely. And in that photo, they're smiling and all the rest of it, and it's just like, I have a wonderful life. But how is that person inside? And how much is that person negating about their own existence? And how many problems does that person have? Every person has problems. It is impossible to live without problems. You need problems. You really do. Problems are a good thing. They forge the sword that is you. They forge you as an individual. But a lot of people negate problems. A lot of people just kind of pretend that everything is wonderful. And then, of course, life comes along and goes, well, actually, you're not quite learning the lesson that you came here to learn. I'm going to give you it in a different way. And then they have another problem, and they complain about life. This is terrible. That's terrible. Everything is about how your mind is set. Everything is about how your mind is calibrated. Like my videos on Instagram, the lighting is not perfect. What I say, I probably fall over my words a lot. It's not beautiful. I don't have muscles. I'm like a skinny guy. I'm not like particularly beautiful in any way. But I don't care because I'm just providing something that's truthful, or at least trying my best to, So of course, any social network or media that is going to show you magical, wonderful, special people when you are unmagical, unspecial, and unwonderful, it's going to make you feel bad. But why does it make you feel bad? It makes you feel bad because of your conditioning, your education, how people have taught you what life is. But if you think about it, Stephen, who taught you what life is? Your parents. It is said that you only really learn 10% of what you learn in your first years of life in school. The majority is your family and your parents and your friends. Now, show me one of those people who has a clue about life. No one. You really think your mum and dad had a clue of what they were doing? They had no idea what they were doing. It's very, very rare that you find a person who really genuinely knows what they're doing in life. Everyone's just making it up as they go along, and they get a problem, come along, and they just do the best they can with the tools they've got. And then another problem comes along, and they're like, I've got no idea what to do with it. Oh my God, we're going to have a baby. Jeez, I've got no idea what to do with being a parent, for example. You know, you can read all the parent books in the world, but when you get a child in your arms, it's an explosion. So you cannot blame the platform that shows you something much deeper about yourself. It's not about Instagram or Facebook. It's about the fact that you are here to forge yourself, to have a strong character, to really live in a way that is truthful and integral with dignity. It's about you living with dignity. If you're on Instagram and you feel like that, if you makes you feel depressed, then maybe you shouldn't be there. Maybe it's not a good place for you because you're not strong enough inside to be able to see with true perspective that all of those people with the beautiful body and the amazing photos actually their parents got divorced. They hate everyone in their family. Everyone in their family hates them. The money they have, actually, it's not theirs. It's all the banks and it's all loans. That Ferrari's not even theirs anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's all. We can go into the story that we're being given, or we can just forget the story we've been given, and we can say, "Well, what's my story?" Because my story is really valid. My story is really important. I'm an amazing individual. No one has told me that, but there is something inside me that knows it. And then, of course, you may need help with that. And so you might kind of seek out somebody like me who will help you see the true nature of your life. But again, with vision, with perspective, you find someone, this person looks really cool. Or this person makes me feel a certain way. Go with your heart. I actually have a client who once said to me, I don't have intuition. I never heard that voice. I don't even know what it is. How do I find my intuition? It's like, it's not that person's fault in any way. But to get to that point where you're living like a robot and you're just eating life and you're just consuming life and you don't listen. If you don't listen to your truth, to your intuition, you cannot make a good decision about anything. That's why we have these sayings like, go with your gut. I have a feeling in the pit of my stomach. It's like, when you sit with yourself, you create a strong connection to your intuition. You create an understanding of your mind and how weak it can be. And you use fortitude. You insert fortitude into yourself and into your life. And then you go on Instagram and you see all this stuff and you go, wow, that's really nice. Wonderful photo. But I know that it's not real. And actually it means nothing to me. I would rather see a picture of a real person stumbling through their video, all embarrassed, but doing their best to bring something of value to the world. I would rather see that. I would genuinely rather see that instead of all of the glamour. But as human beings, we love glamour. We love escapism. We love things outside of ourselves because we think the wonder or the success and the magic is outside of ourselves. But it's not. The wonder and the magic is not on Instagram. The wonder and the magic is you. You are the magic. You just never had anyone tell you that. And how ridiculous is that? And what a waste of human life, of many of the 7 billion humans there are in the world who have no idea that they are actually magic and marvelous and incredible and of great value and can bring the most amazing things to the people around them.
Well, I've cut back my social media use to just 10 minutes a day, Jim. That's it.
Okay.
And I feel much better.
Perfect. If you feel that's what you need, yeah. I mean, social media is just a means to an end, isn't it? people they put their beautiful face and their beautiful body and their beautiful car and all their wonderful, amazing life on there. Well, what is that for exactly? Because they want recognition, because they want to feel good with the millions of likes that they get, or the people telling them how magical and wonderful they are. But what if you took the social media away? Then they're just a person like you and me, and they're probably quite unhappy because no one taught them what happiness is. Happiness is not something that you get. Happiness is something you give. Like love. Love is not something you receive. It is something you give. So if you're not able to find yourself in that place on things like social media, then 10 minutes a day is probably even too much. But what are you actually doing in your daily life? What action are you actually taking? There's a very interesting, one of the pillars of Buddhism, for example, which is essentially humanism, states that there is no point in having a practice of faith if you don't bring it into reality. So there is no point in you having all these ideas you have and doing all the things that you like doing if you don't actually bring them into your real life. Because social media is not real life unless you find someone who's really real on there that you believe in. Now, what can you do every single day yourself, even if it's just for 5 minutes, that will make tomorrow different? I mean, we talk about karma. This course that I've done for Insight Timer, one of the sessions is on karma, and we have this idea that karma is a bad thing. Like, I have bad karma, you have bad karma. Oh yeah, some bad thing happened. It must be because of bad karma. No, karma means life. Karma is not bad or good. It is just the sum total of the actions that you've made in the past expressing themselves today. So if you did something wonderful yesterday, it's going to show up in some way today, some way tomorrow, and some way next year. If something terrible happened in your past, or somebody did something terrible to you in the past, how you took it is going to manifest itself today. Fine. There's nothing, you can't go back in the past. That thing happened, it happened, fine. It's up to you how you resolve that story. But what are you doing today then? Because today is what creates tomorrow. Tomorrow doesn't just magically happen. Okay, that is an illusion. You need to get over yourself if you feel that that's the case. Tomorrow is made by you right now in what you do, literally. Even in the tiniest of things, even in the way you speak to your people in your family or your friends, the way you address your life is you using karma. It's you rewriting karma, therefore you rewriting your life. But we love to take things like karma and put bad in front of it. Oh, this is bad, or that's a bad thing. And then that means there are bad things in the world and everything is bad. And therefore, yes, life is horrible. And I was right. Life is awful and I'm not going to get the stuff I want. Yeah, you can live like that. Most people live like that. Yeah, go for it. It's fine. You're not going to die. It's not going to end your life. But you will get to the last day of your life and you'll look back and you'll go, God, what an idiot. What the hell was I thinking? What on earth was I thinking? I had thousands of days of opportunities to try out the things that I like, and I didn't because somebody told me I wasn't good enough. And to be honest with you, the person who told me I wasn't good enough, they only said it because somebody told that to them. And they were bitter about it, and they wanted to bring it. They wanted to let it out on me because I was smaller or younger or weaker than them in that moment. You know, you cannot base your life on other people's stories. Well, you can, but it's not your life then. It's somebody else's life, and you're just a robot who has no intuition.
Exactly. Yeah, look, Jim, thanks for coming on the podcast today. It was a really good chat with you as well.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Where can people find you on social media and Insight Timer?
You can find me on Instagram. My name is Jim Rajan. You know, Jim short for James, Rajan, Rajan. And on Insight Timer, come and check out our lives. Our lives are going really well. We have a wonderful, wonderful community of really marvellous people all over the world, from Australia to the States to the Philippines to Africa to India, UK, Europe. I'm so honoured. I'm so lucky to be able to connect with so many amazing people. So yeah, you'll find me. You'll find me. I'm on Spotify. Just type my name in the internet and you'll find me.
Sweet. All right, thank you for listening to today's episode of the podcast. Thank you to the sponsor, Spreaker. Don't forget to get your free trial of Spreaker. All you need to do is click on the links in the description to Spreaker. I will put that in the show notes for you. Also, too, you can subscribe to the podcast. You can, if you would like, it'll be appreciated if you could share your favourite episodes on your social media. Always you can reach out to me. I'm on Webtalk as well. I'll put a link into Webtalk. New podcasts are out every Fridays. And also you can leave a review on Apple Podcasts and a rating of 5 stars. That'll be a help. If you're a busy parent, self-employed worker, creative, or even just someone who feels stuck in a rut for motivation, check out these guided planners and journals for personal success, motivation, and mental health. To start, Balanced Mind, a guided planner for the overly ambitious, under-motivated, and anyone in between, is a 52-week planner that walks you through a healthy approach towards organizing and prioritizing your goals. It has an excellent format for ensuring that health remains a manageable focus too. Also, if you're an artist, creative, or entrepreneur, the guided journal, My Terribly Great Das, the inspirational journal of 5 ideas a day inspired by Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret, will help you organize and stick to creativity by sticking to these 5 ideas a day for 90 days. You end up coming up with 450 ideas. One of those ideas will strike gold for sure. I'll provide the links in the show notes for these journals. If you like what you see, be sure to subscribe to the author's email list to stay up to date on her new projects coming soon.